Welcome back. I'm Asa Lanham, the Chief Executive Officer of Innovaro, and this is the 6th video in our series on Launchpad Imagine. And in this video, we're going to start to take a look at what to do with all that data that we captured in the previous video and how we can process that and turn it from lots of data points into clusters of information. And what you see here is you see the standard login window as you come into to Launchpad. And last time we looked at step 1, which was all about discovering information, which is where we are now. In step 2, we're going to take a look at what we do with all that data that we've captured. And what you see here is in step 2 is beginning to take a look at the clusters of information that we've captured, right? Now, what you see here is you see this is, you can look at for consumer insights, you can look at discontinuities, core companies, any of the lenses. Since I was on the consumer insights team, we're going to take a look at that one. You can see there, again, my personal score is 0, but the team captured 347 pieces of information. And you can see these are all the individual pieces of information that was captured. And if you want to take a look at any one of these, you can literally go down and you can click on the eye, the little signal there, and it comes down to us. It says P&G is releasing a new laundry detergent form factor. What are the key concepts? It's an observation. When was it created? If you actually want to go see the site, you know, it's got the link there. Oh, it takes you to the site, and here's the actual site where they talk about it. And we're going to skip the advertising, right, here preferably. And you can see this is where they actually talk in more detail about it. And what's happened is Launchpad Imagine through Discover has come out with a SEMBot, taken a look at this, brought information in, and made it part of the data that you have captured. So we'll close this up. Now, this is important. This is where the semantic engine comes into play with Imagine. And the semantic engine is important in that it can take a look at all of this data that you've loaded in, you know, digitally, and it has natural language processing. It can read text. It can do annotations. And what it does is it says, after I've done all this, how do I connect this information? How do I connect these pieces of data into larger pieces of information? And we have 4 different views of it. The view you see here in front of you is called Graph View. And this shows you clusters of how it's put the information together. And you can see here in the little white box, there's a number of different clusters here that you can navigate around. Before I do that, let's just take a look at this one, which is in front, which is housing. And you can see this is a prime cluster here with housing in that. And there's a number of different, you know, subclusters off of that. Diego Southern looks a little interesting. I'm not sure what that means, but let's take a look. So if you click on one of these subclusters, what it does is it actually brings up the pieces that are associated with it. And you can see here with Diego Southern, there's a couple of different pieces that are associated with it. And you can actually take a look at those in more depth if you want. Again, you can go and specifically look in detail at those. We're not going to do that right now. You can navigate around in here with this, as I showed you. Take a look at different kinds of things, all right, for different pieces and parts. All right, so that's one view of it. Now, the second view of it that we have that I happen to like a lot is called Tag Cloud. And Tag Cloud, what the semantic engine does is it looks at all the terms that are in it and says, what are the terms that occur most frequently that are repeated? And the frequency of the term is actually shown by the size and the intensity of the font. And here you see one called Boat Care, which is interesting because we weren't looking for it, but it keeps appearing again and again. If you want to see what the data is in Boat Care, you click on Boat Care, and there are all the data items. You can actually go take a look at all of them individually, right? And you can see there's quite a number in here. Now, you may find for a large search, there's a lot of data in here you can't make sense of. You don't really want to. What you have is the ability to set a weighting that says if it doesn't appear more than a certain number of times, let's take it out. So we're going to say minimum weighting is 3. We're going to apply it. And what happens is all the terms that were in there that might have been there before but weren't as prevalent are taken out. You'll see Boat Care still there, business for my home. You know, all the ones for business for my home are still in there. But by the way, you can click on these and it'll take you right to the thing about rust removal tips on how to get rust off of your boat. You know, so you can see that. The third view is the tree view, and the tree view is the regular old-fashioned, you know, if you think of it, Microsoft file format view. There's housing, there's Diego Southern again. Click on one of those. There's the 2 things in there. Let's go see one of these just to see what it is. Okay, it's from Laundry Industry Profile. It says there's over 35,000 coin incorporated laundries, and we can take a look at where that comes from. And okay, so it shows us a website called PWS which is the laundry company. It's a pretty well-respected website with information on laundry industry trends and things of that nature. So there's a place that you can go for that, and you can actually take a look at what all of those are. And you can keep or you can discard any of these pieces of information. That's really up to you. And then the fourth view we talk about is card view. In card view, what we do is we actually take all the individual data pieces and put them on the cards according to the clusters that they're in. And then if you want, you can actually print those out and use them in a regular working session, on a table. But let's go back and take a look at graph view. As I said, these are the ones that the semantic engine has picked up. You can keep them or not keep them, and what you really do is you decide how you're going to cluster information over here. So you can create your own cluster. You're going to know your data. You can say green cleaning products is an important piece of it, and that natural cleaning is part of what I want to be involved with here. So I'm going to bring that in. Detergent pods would be important. I want to have something with detergent pods in here. So you can put these in, and then you can say put a name in for the cluster. It's green pods, and save it, and it'll save that as a cluster that will give you. So we're going to click start over here so we don't do that. You can also, after you take a look at these, like car care and that, you can say, yeah, I like that cluster. I want to save it. And bring it over, and it automatically takes all the data that's in that cluster and brings it over and puts it in that. So you have a cluster you can create there. That one you naturally would think you'd probably call boat care. If you take a look at some of the ones that were done by the team that were accepted, you got green cleaners. You can see green cleaning, natural cleaning products. You can see a variety of information in here about those where they kept clusters. And what they did was they created a set of clusters from their own information that was important relative to that. So you can see that was consumer insights, discontinuities. Discontinuities was, I think, a pretty substantial number. There were 976 items in discontinuities. And what it's doing now is it's actually drawing out the graph in that, so you can see it in graph view. You also can look at that in tag cloud or card or tree view as well. So that'll do that. So you can look at each one of the lenses separately. That you saw is the tag cloud view at level 3. This is tag cloud at level 1. All right, and you can see there's quite a number of items in the tag cloud there. The graph view, you can see there's the graph on this is pretty dense. You can actually scroll it down, make it smaller, and get it to look at things that way. You have to scroll it down a little faster, I think, to get this to be proper. So you can see that. You can see a lot of different clusters in here by dragging this around that you can take a look at in depth. I sometimes like to take a look at outliers because they're kind of interesting with the one piece or two pieces they have that are not part of the main thrust. Main thrusts are exactly what you would expect. It's the big piece of it that you're interested in seeing. And that's really it on the clustering of data and getting from data to information. Thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.